Close your eyes again, but this time, not to escape, not to retreat, but to return, not to silence the world, but to remember your own voice within it. Breathe, not as an instruction, but as an invitation to feel that you are still here, not the version that scrolls, consumes, reacts. The version of you that lingers in the quiet moments between impulses, the one you've been taught to ignore. You wake each morning to an inheritance you never asked for, a mind already crowded before the light even hits your skin. Thoughts that are not yours. Desires whispered in the night by strangers who have never seen your face, but somehow know exactly how to bend your will. This is not freedom. It is a choreography of distractions, a symphony of emptiness performed in perfect harmony. And you feel it, don't you? That dull ache under the surface, the exhaustion that sleep cannot touch, that subtle dread that appears not as fear, but as the absence of meaning. You chase stimulation not because it excites you, but because silence has become unbearable, because in silence you meet yourself, and who you meet is not a stranger, but someone you've left behind. They told you boredom is failure, that stillness is weakness, that productivity is the measure of worth. So you obeyed. You filled every crevice of your day with noise, every idle moment with movement. But what did you gain? A mind fragmented, attention splintered, emotions diluted. You were taught to consume everything and question nothing. But beneath it all, something resists. There is a part of you that knows, this isn't it. This can't be it. That maybe the world isn't broken, but our way of seeing it is. That we've traded wonder for information, reflection for reaction, purpose for performance. You know it deep down. This culture that praises immediacy, worships data, and deifies distraction. It is not a celebration of life. It's a slow suffocation of it. And they've sold you a lie with such precision that you've forgotten it's even a transaction. You think you choose what you watch, what you like, what you crave. But what if those choices are illusions, engineered to keep you from ever looking beyond the surface? What if the cost of convenience has always been your clarity? This isn't just a personal crisis. It's not just your burnout, your numbness, your quiet despair. It is a shared sickness, a cultural anesthesia that wraps around you like a blanket, comforting yet smothering. And the worst part? We've come to celebrate the very chains that bind us. We call it progress, this slow erosion of attention. We name it growth, this disconnection from depth. And here you are, sensing a fracture, a splinter in the mind that whispers, something is wrong. You scroll endlessly, not for joy, but to silence the discomfort. Yet that discomfort is sacred. It is the last flicker of a soul refusing to go quietly into sedation. You're not broken. You are awakening. But awakening is painful. It asks for everything you've been taught to reject. Silence, solitude, stillness. It strips away the narratives you've clung to, the identities constructed by algorithms and likes. It doesn't offer comfort. It demands courage. And what could be more terrifying than the realization that you have been complicit in your own erasure? Yet here you are, still listening? That means something. That means something inside you is still alive, still untouched, still untamed. That's rare, because most would have clicked away by now. Most would have found the discomfort intolerable, but not you. You stayed. That makes all the difference. Because the revolution we need will not be televised, streamed, or posted. It will not trend or go viral. It will begin in the most forbidden place, inside your own mind, in your refusal to be entertained, in your daring to sit with the uncomfortable, in your quiet decision to think, really think, even when everything around you screams not to. The path back is not glamorous. It will not feel like victory. It will feel like loss. Loss of the false comforts, the cheap dopamine, the illusions of connection. But in that loss, you will find a strange and sacred gift. Clarity. And clarity is not brightness. It is the stark recognition of what is, of who you've become, of what you've abandoned, and of what you still have the power to reclaim. You'll feel the urge to return, to check, to scroll, to flee. But every time you resist, something strengthens. Your attention becomes your own again. Your emotions cease to be products. Your time stops being currency. And in the vast echoing space that remains, you will rediscover something you forgot was possible. Depth. Not the depth of knowledge, but of presence, of being with a moment fully, of feeling sorrow without rushing to numb it, of loving without exhibition, of listening not to reply, but to understand. This is not just rebellion, it is resurrection. Because the self you are recovering was never weak, it was simply buried. And though they may laugh, though they may call you strange for not keeping pace, know this: to slow down in a speeding world is not foolishness. It is defiance. To choose meaning over motion is to reclaim your humanity. And to sit with your own thoughts, unfiltered and uncurated, is to remember that you were never meant to be a machine. You were meant to wonder, to marvel, to weep, to sit beneath the stars and feel small and vast all at once. And that capacity still lives in you, even now, even here, in this moment, where the world wants you numb. Do not let them steal what is sacred. Do not let the trivial eclipse the true. If you must begin anywhere, begin here. With the silence you fear, stay with it. Let it carve through the noise. Let it whisper what no feed ever could. That you are still here, that you still matter, that you were never meant to merely function. You were meant to awaken. And though the path will not be easy, it is yours to walk. One moment of stillness at a time, one breath, one refusal to numb, until what once felt foreign becomes familiar again, and the mind you thought was lost begins to speak with a voice that is both ancient and new. Your own. The voice of clarity, of freedom. The world may never applaud you for this choice. It may never notice, but that doesn't matter, because you will know. You will know that even in an age that drowns truth in noise, you chose to listen. You chose to remember. You chose to think. And that, quietly, defiantly, is the beginning of everything.